Hello, class 11 students. Once again, I welcome you all in the new video that is on the topic that what is the relation between the fundamental rights and the directive principles of state policy. What is fundamental rights and what is directive principle? So as we are talking about fundamental right is provided by the part 3 of the Indian Constitution, and it is protect the citizens from being exploitation, as well as it is so fundamental in the nature that the people development of the citizens depend on these fundamental rights. And when we are talking about the directive principle of state policies, part 4 of Indian Constitution provide directive principles of state policies. Directive principle of state policies are the guidelines to the government that what they have to do for the betterment of the society and the people and the nation. So both these ideals have its own importance. Both have the importance in the development of the society and in the betterment of the country. So one by one I will explain here the relationship between both these things. When we are talking about the fundamental rights, it is justiciable, and for protection of fundamental rights we can move to the courts. It means our fundamental rights are legally enforceable and we can move towards the court for protection of our fundamental right. But the directive principle of state policy is not justifiable, and no one can, or the government cannot be moved, bring to the court if they are denying from the fulfillment of the directive principle. Then we can see that fundamental right, the main aim of the fundamental rights is that the protection of democracy. It protects the democracy because it gives the citizens right to develop themselves, right to freedom, right to expression, right to equality. So it brings the feeling of democracy. And when we are talking about the directive principle of the state policy, it brings socio-economic justice, and the different provisions of the welfare state can bring the socio and economic justice in the society. Then provision of as the next point we can see that fundamental rights is negative in the nature. It means it restrains the government, it prohibits the government certain things to do, that government should not go and work in such a manner that the rights of the citizens can be underlaid. And directive principle of state policy is positive in nature. Under the directive principle of state policies, the state have direction to do certain things, so it is positive in nature. The next is that fundamental right is legal sanction, whereas the directive principles are legal and political sanction. So it have legal and political sanction. Then the fundamental right is for the individual freedom, and it strengthens the individual for the protection of their right. Whereas we can see that directive principle, it work for development of society It works for the sectarian development. It works for the deprived section of the society. Whereas we can see that directive principle is for the fundamental right is for every individual, and by fundamental rights the individual can develop themselves. But as per the norms of directive principle, those individuals also who are not able to protect themselves, they can be protected and they can work, and the government protect them by different laws, making different laws as per the provisions of directive principles. Here I want to mention that fundamental right does not need any legal enforcement. It means that fundamental rights, to develop or to implement or to enjoy the fundamental rights, we doesn't need any legal provisions. But for the adoption of directive principle, legal sanction is important. Here I want to mention that fundamental rights are needs any legislation for its enforcement. It can be enforced itself. It means that we citizens can protect our fundamental rights without any law or without any legislation. But the directive to enforce directive principles, the legislation is necessary. Here I want to tell that many directive principles which become the part of fundamental right gradually, or to adopt that if we know that Jamindari Unmoolan, then there should be a legislation, then only this can abolish. So directive principle needs the legislation of law. And then the next one is that if fundamental rights found violative in nature, and if it found that any fundamental rights of the citizens is not needed in the present society, or it is disturbing the harmony of the society, it can be scrapped and it can be excluded from the list of fundamental rights. As we saw that the right to property, it was initially a fundamental rights, but it was scrapped after 44th amendment. Then we will talk about, and the directive principles cannot be scrapped by the judiciary, and directive principles are the part of the law, and when it is needed, the directive principles should be implemented, and it should be that the government itself, the executives, they will form law and they will adopt these directive principles. So here we see that directive principles and fundamental right, they are complementary to each other. They are completing each other. As we saw that many of the directive principle in 2005, right to education become the right of fundamental right. Panchayati Raj system became the part of constitution, and as per the need of the society, these directive principles, they become the part of fundamental rights. Or so both these have its own importance, and we can't say that any of these is less important than others. Both of these needs to run a society in a more democratic way. So that's all for today, and in next video we will talk about the next section or next chapter. It is the last topic. It is the last topic of the chapter 2. Thank you.